Hello and welcome back to Reddit League. Season 4 is finally here, and we started this week in Japan. First of all, I apologize there will be no face cam, at least for the moment. My current face cam isn't really working properly anymore, and I'm thinking of getting a new one, but good quality ones are pretty expensive and I don't really have proper lighting anyway. So I hope you can understand and, bear with me. It'll probably come back eventually, I just don't know when. Um, yeah, Week 1, Japan. Let's just get into all of the division setup first. If you want to have a good overview over all of the divisions, I recommend you to go check out the GeoGuessr esports channel, where by the time this video has come out, we will already have released the reveal show, which includes all of the divisions, all of the maps, in-depth talk about those, probably also sort of a preview of the week 1 matchups. But for now, we're just focusing on Division 1, which involves me, Welo, Max, Baseman, Paste Cache, Patriots, Ploki, Schludi, Shumi, Tor, Teskatak, and Clyde. A lot of names familiar from last season, because I think the funny thing is there was 12 players who didn't continue on from last season. 6 of those were Division 1 players, which was very curious. But anyway, from Division 2, I don't think anyone actually left, with the exception of technically Equinox would have gotten relegated from Division 1 to Division 2, but he left. But I kind of count him for Division 1 still. And technically Blockchain got disqualified. But apart from that, all of the familiar faces around here, we've still got Baseman, we've still got Welo, we've still got Tor, Teskatak, Clyde. Everyone we've already played against last season. And then some very, very strong players to join us. First of all, from Division 1 relegated Schlui, very good player as well. 3 players who got promoted from Division 3, who are also all very, very good players, although they don't always show that. Shumi, for example, with a very relatively weak Formula G season, but absolutely dominated Division 3 in Reddit League last season. So you're going to have to see what kind of Shumi we get this season. Max can be a bit hit or miss sometimes depending on the country we get. He can be incredibly good, but there are just some countries he's not that good in. So I hope we face him in one of those. I actually do know already, but I forgot. And the third one is Patriots, also a very good player, just very decent all around. And then 2 complete newcomers, which are the 2 French players, Paste Cache and Ploki. Very good. Very good. I played against Ploki in a Reddit tournament, kind of based on cycling, where we just go through stages based on some of the real life cycling routes. And Ploki finished that tournament in second ahead of me. It was sort of a time-based tournament. I think he was about 6, 7, 8 minutes ahead of me after 10 stages, so not far ahead, but still very, very competent player. Again, also very good all-round. But that tournament itself was just based in Spain. So, and Spain is not one of the countries that we'll play this season. I can already reveal that. So maybe he'll struggle in other countries. Maybe in the one that we play him in. You can hope. And yeah, again, as I said, all the others we already know. And in week 1, in Japan, we're playing against Teskatak. I don't quite remember where I played Teskatak last season. I think it was one of the Asian seeds, but I don't remember if it was Cambodia or Asia. I think it was Asia. And either way, I won both of those seeds. So I think Teskatak did okay, but it was a win for us. We're then going to play... well, I should probably talk about the schedule first. As I said, Japan first, then we're going to go over to Guatemala. That's going to be great. I mean, I guess it'll suck for everyone, not just me. Then we go over to Lakes of the World, which is something that I'm not looking forward to. And generally, I think lakes might probably still be fine. I don't like maps that have any sort of aquatic theme. Lakes of the World, a coastal world, probably Rivers of the World too, if such a map exists. I doubt it does, but that's an idea for you out there. Make one. I don't like them. I don't know, just coastal world especially, a lot of it is just, a lot of the coasts of the world, belong to countries that I don't particularly like in GeoGuessr, like the massive coast of the US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, Australia, Indonesia. Those are all countries that I'm not particularly fond of. So that will be a struggle too. Anyway, though, week 4, Iceland, kind of looking forward to that. Can be fun, can be very much of a struggle, but we'll see. I think that's one of my more favorite countries. And we're going to go to Botswana, where I'm going to be playing against Tor. I don't want to practice like 30 maps of Botswana, but I feel like I'll have to. Botswana is one of those countries that doesn't have a massive amount of coverage. So there's probably just things that you can study and learn based on just this road has this kind of soil or stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. Then we go to an improved world, standard world map. Have we not had an improved world before? It somehow feels familiar. But anyway, it's just, your standard world map. Should be fine. Although I say should be fine, I pretty much don't play world maps at all nowadays, so probably shouldn't be fine. Then we go over to Saskatchewan, which is going to be interesting. Kind of an odd map to play. It's very square in a way that, the normal US road network in cities, sort of a grid-like system. Saskatchewan is kind of like that, but all over the mostly southern part of the state, and the northern part doesn't really have much coverage. So generally, I think you're just going to search for road numbers most of the time, but I'll be able to tell you more whenever we get to it. Then we've got Africa, which is interesting. Again, because Africa is quite big, not in the sense that there's a lot of countries covered, because there isn't, but in the sense that distance-wise, it's quite big. So that means you've got quite a bit of leeway before you lose points, which I think could lead to many draws, because Africa in general, it's very easy to tell which country you're in. But a lot of the countries in Africa are very hard to pinpoint. Stuff like Ghana, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, Nigeria can be terrible. Even Senegal, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, can be awful. Kenya too sometimes, and currently the coverage is messed up because Google screwed up. So I hope that's fixed by then. Otherwise, we might have even more reasons to not like that. And we go to Romania, which I'm looking forward to. Romania is probably a country where I think I can do a good job. Generally just based on, I know a lot of cities in Romania. It's got a nice road layout, which is always the number one thing I look for in a country, a nice road layout. Then we go to Singapore, which we've already seen twice in the finals with Raidman picking it, which is something I'm not looking forward to. I'm not good in Singapore. I'm just based on the general thing that I'm not good in cities, and Singapore is basically just a city. I'll have to practice that a bunch, and even then probably the best you can hope for always is a draw, because who drops points in Singapore except me? Unfortunate part about Singapore, lots of highways. I hate highways even more than I hate cities. So yeah, fun times. And then, as I said, a coastal world. Matchups, we start off against Tescotac, then we go over to Guelo in Guatemala, Lakes of the World against Plauki, then against Pastek in, what was it again? Iceland, of course. That's going to be an interesting duel. Then against Toll in Botswana, an improved world against Basement. More world maps against Basement. I played against him in Season 2 on a world map as well. Then week 7 against Shumi in Saskatchewan. That might be interesting. Then Africa against Max. Oh, it could be interesting too. Then against Clyde in bad memory. Romania. I like that one. Singapore against Patriots. Okay, and then Schludi in Coastal World. Not something I'm looking forward to. So I think that's all for the basic standard stuff, dates, scheduling, etc. Now, what I'm going to do, I know last time I think I did the talking about the other division seeds after playing my own, but I think I'm going to reverse that again. I'm probably going to have timestamps in the bottom of, like, in the video timeline. Not necessarily, for example, for every round, but I'm going to have a time stamp for when the actual game starts. So if you don't want to listen to me talk about the other seeds, you can skip that. But I do you know, I do recommend if you're not in Division 2 and if you want to, or if you played any of the other seeds and want to know how I did and how I achieved the scores that I did, I do recommend watching it. So, starting off with Division 5. 5 minutes, so most of the time you've got plenty of time to figure out where you are in Japan, except for in round 1. Quite easy to tell. I say easy to tell. It was actually not the standard kind of island stuff that you'd get in Japan, where you're either like straight on the coastline and you look out into the ocean, or you're in the middle of a fucking forest with nowhere but nothing but woods all around you. We'll get to that in another seed. But yeah, the Division 5 seed started us off on Shodo Island. I kind of already had a feeling going around it that we were somewhere. I was actually thinking sort of here, but we were over here. I don't know, it just kind of gave me that feeling. And I had to make my way all the way to up here somewhere. And then there was, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was the 436 probably that made me go, okay. And then made me find Shodo Island. But I just, at the end, I ran out of time a bit. Like you can see here. I went back to the start and I knew, okay, we went north and then there's a turn, a south, there's a turn. And I just completely underestimated how far we traveled to get there. Unfortunately, because of the recent GeoGuessr update, you can see sort of the graphical change here. The path logger doesn't really work anymore, which is very, very unfortunate. But we're just going to have to deal with it until that's fixed. I might, if I can find out who it was, might write the creator later on, just to see how the progress is on that, or if they plan to make it work again. Either way, round 2 brought us over to Hokkaido. Always fun, Hokkaido, because it's quite easy to tell you're there. And usually, I kind of already have sort of memorized most of the highways that go through Hokkaido. So whenever I see a road number, I'm like, oh yeah, Hokkaido. In this case, I think I went over here and eventually ended up here next to the 230. And then made my way back over here. It was relatively easy to pinpoint. And actually, I can show you that. It was a sort of the starting position where you're like, oh god, no, what is this? But first of all, if you went north, you could pretty soon get to the main road here, which actually looks like a main road and not like this. And thankfully, to the south here, you've got a very weird roundabout, which made pinpointing it. Let me close that. Pinpointing is super easy because it stands out on the map. You can see there are also quite a lot of 5Ks there. Round 3 then brought us over to up there. Which prefecture is that? Ishikawa Prefecture. Right into the middle of nowhere. But it was actually not that difficult to figure out. I don't even remember fully what it was, though. I think... Let me think about it. Yeah, it was... I found a sign eventually. I don't know where it was anymore, obviously, because of the path logger not working. Might have gone here, might have gone here. I found one sign that pointed me towards Kanazawa. And I remembered Kanazawa being like a big city to find. And then I also found up here all of the other cities that I was pointed to on signs, which included Wajima, Anamizu, Noto, and one more. I can't see it right now. I don't fully remember. And then, you know, you've got all of these small prefectural roads that help you pinpoint. Pinpointing exactly was also relatively easy because this is... It's unique. Let's call it unique. Not the most difficult thing to find. Then, but as you can see, there are a lot of people struggle to find that one. I'm assuming because, well, you're very far away from any sort of highways. So unless you find that sign with all of those cities and you know some of them, you're probably gonna struggle in that round, even with the 5 minutes. Round 4, then back to Hokkaido, right into the middle of the mountains. It was actually quite nice because relatively quickly I found a sign that pointed me towards, I think, the 242. I'm not 100% sure anymore. It gave me a distance to Oketo and some others. Yeah, I found signs which gave me distances to some other cities. No, that was it, exactly. I didn't find one towards the highway, I think. I found signs pointing... I might have done as well. I don't remember. I knew we were on the 88. Might have found a sign towards the 242, but most importantly, I found signs giving me distances to Rikubetsu, Oketo, and other cities, and eventually I think I found Rikubetsu. And then it wasn't actually that hard to pinpoint if you had enough time, and I certainly did. And I still messed it up apparently because I was too far away from the curve. But yeah, the 88 pretty much stands out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no other roads to confuse it with. And you were relatively close to it. Not very unique curve, actually. There were a couple of those, but unique enough. Let me just say that. Round 5 to finish it off was down here in Tochigi. Not a difficult round, generally. Sort of in the middle of the city here. I think I walked down here and then up there, and then found signs towards the 400 somewhere. Stuff like that, something like that. You can kind of guess how this round happened. Again, I really want the path logger back. Anyway, so that seed went okay. Got above 24.9k. Was a relatively easy seed except for round 1 though. And in round 1 itself, I just made a stupid mistake. But I can tell you, it was, as far as I can remember at least, from the other 4 seeds, it was the only stupid mistake I did in the other seeds. But that doesn't include my own seed yet. We're going to find out about that in a bit. So, on to the next one. 4 minutes 30, Division 4. And I'm topping that right now. But to start us off with, relatively close to Sendai, but in Yamagata Prefecture. It's sort of, again, middle of nowhere, kind of, in the outskirts of Tenno. And it was kind of unique in the way it was set up, in the way kind of the road worked. I went north, went to this intersection, then went over to this intersection. And I think that was pretty much it. I didn't really move past that. I might have gone up here, but I don't even think I did. I think I just had a sign there that told me, okay, we're close to the 13. And then I knew we were on the 279. And then it actually took me a long time to figure out where in the 279 because it goes till all the way up here. And it kind of, from what I saw, it wasn't that unique, any sort of stretch of it. So it took me a while until I found this place here, which was the intersection I came out at. I actually didn't specifically find this place. I was looking for this intersection because it seemed more unique with the road here going very, very straight for quite a while. I did find that. Then just confirmed that this was the right intersection as well. And then down here, relatively easy to pinpoint that one. We then moved over to round 2, which brought us into sort of the middle of Japan, Yamanashi Prefecture, relatively close to Kofu, which I've seen quite a few times now through practice as well. But that one was actually tough. As you can see there, I didn't really know where I was. I knew we were on the 616 and I knew we were close to Kofu. And that was pretty much the extent of what I knew. So I struggled because the 616 again is quite long. It was all the way down here. And I kind of knew we were out of town, but I didn't know where exactly. And yeah, I eventually ran out of time. And I probably could have taken 2 or 3 more minutes and I would have still struggled to find the exact place. But anyway, it was fine. Thankfully, didn't 5k the last round anyway, so it didn't really matter. Otherwise, it's always a bit of a shame if you could have 25k'd otherwise, even if it's not your own seed. Round 3, very close to Yamanashi Prefecture, down here in, is that Shizuoka? Yeah, that's Shizuoka. Close to Fuji. Sort of right in the middle here. We started on the 140. There was also signs for the 139 here. There was a sign for, what was the actual sign that got me to the... I don't even know. I can't remember what the actual sign that... I think it was, yeah, I found a sign that told me we're close to the highway number 1 and also close to Numazu and Izunokuni. So I looked along the 1 and eventually found Numazu and then, look at the 139, 140, and this was kind of a unique feature of the road, this going up here, that, and this very straight road here, and then eventually that, it kind of stands out. Wasn't too difficult, as you can see there. Pretty much all the other people found it too. And then we went back to our favorite place, Hokkaido. Round 4, first off, started us off here on the 447. I'm pretty sure I just went down here into Setana and found the 229. And from then on, it was very easy. A very easy round, relatively close to this intersection. And yeah, actually quite a lot of problems there for people. They must have gone north, I'm pretty sure. Because yeah, as I said, if you go south, it's a very easy round. I don't, yeah, I didn't go north, so I don't know if there was anything useful there. And then round 5, on the 38, next to a golf course, and I went south and just found that we were on an intersection with the 38 and the 135, and that was super easy to find. And there was also a bridge over here over the river that looked kind of cool, so it wasn't too difficult to pinpoint. There was another bridge here. In the end, it was kind of just, there's no reference points here. How am I supposed to tell where we are? It kind of just a same-ish curve. Unlucky bit. And then next up is the division 3 seed numbers. Again, you can see that I'm first currently, so that's quite nice. Again, just pinpointing in Japan just don't go well together. Very, very centralized. Not centralized, but very focused. A seed very focused on one area. Explored the south of Japan. Started off in Hiroshima Prefecture. On this road here, it's kind of an interesting, almost like a, what is it called? I mean, it kind of looks like a fork, but that's not what I'm going for. Try something? Triceptor? That's not it. I don't know what it's called. And yeah, you kind of had a very good sign already here at this intersection, which pointed you, I think, towards the 184, towards the 56 here as well. And did it point you towards any cities? I don't remember. It probably did, but to none I recognized. But eventually I made it up here, because, 184 is long again. All the way down here. All the way down here. But yeah, I was actually struggling. I knew we were on the 56. But the 56 itself is also super long. And I just knew we came from, we crossed it north-south. But it was actually, funnily enough, it wasn't this here that stood out to me. It was this turn onto the 184, which in the end made me find it. Round 2 then, over here. Which prefecture is that? Yamaguchi. Kind of in the middle of a town. I didn't quite find that one. Well, I say I didn't quite find that one. I found it. I just found the wrong thing. Because I knew we were at the intersection between the 190 and the 354. Not at it itself, but very close to it. And, there's a river here. Yeah, crossing the river. Like that one. There's the 354 and the 190 again. Just like you've got it up here. So no wonder I couldn't find the exact place. Yeah, that one was just annoying. But again, similarly to earlier, I didn't quite manage to pinpoint round 3 and 4 anyway, so it didn't matter too much. Round 3, down here, just south of Kitakyushu in Fukuoka. This one, yeah, it was okay. I think I definitely went north, past here, hit the 34. I don't even know what I found exactly. I quite genuinely just don't have any idea anymore. You're gonna have to look at that yourself. I can't remember. I found something that apparently in the end allowed me to pinpoint it, but just slightly too far south. I am really confused now. What did I find? I'm pretty sure I found something regarding the 241. Maybe even the 496, because I do remember looking over here and then being like, what, the 34 is here, but it's so far over there. But yeah, these kind of curves stand out. Then round 4 oh no, that's not round 4. Round 4 is up here in Yonago. Yeah, I just found relatively quickly. I saw a sign we're close or in Yonago itself, and I recognized Yonago. Didn't find it immediately, but I recognized it. But the route I took, I think, was so complicated because eventually I got to this intersection. But I think I hit it from the south. I just must have taken some incredibly weird way to get there. And so it took me forever to pretty much have any idea of where we even are in this sort of general area. And I still didn't really have a good idea when I put it here. It kind of, you can see there's the same sort of square intersection here, or square area. I just kind of hoped that it was close enough. And it was close enough. I could have been way further off. And then round 5 was down here. Is that's still Fukuoka, right? Is that actually not show up? No. Yes, it's still Fukuoka though. And kind of all the way down here. Went north, eventually made it to this intersection here, and then went over here. And I think that's where I found the 442, sign for the 442. I think it might have been around here. And the 442 is kind of long, but I knew we were very far out there in the middle of nowhere. And to be honest, I didn't even check over here. I just started checking here, and this already looked so promising that I just went, okay, I think it could be that. And then I checked over here the way the road turned, and that's a pretty unique turn, and it matched up. So I just went, okay, went down here, and it was relatively easy to pinpoint again. So not too much trouble with that one. Then the last one, Division 1 seed, that sucked. It's 2 super easy first rounds. Round 1 up there in Hokkaido again, 1:03. You kind of just went down here to this intersection, gave you the 150 and the 505. I think it gave you towards Nakashibetsu, which I recognized. And it was just, yeah, find it up there. Pretty, don't want to say unique turn, it's just a curve. But it stands out compared to everything else you've got here. So that was a super easy one. Round 2 then, also very easy, close to Akita. You start crossing a rail track, that's always nice. And then I made it over here to this intersection, and it kind of told me, okay, Akita this way. And also, I think it pointed me towards the Akita Minami IC to that. So I kind of just went over here, and first off, I kind of looked over there, I think, somewhere. But it was just all kinds of wrong because the train tracks didn't go the right ways. Then I eventually looked over here and found this immediately, because there's not many crosses of small-ish roads on this stretch that goes perfectly straight north-south. So again, it's just, again, annoying to pinpoint because you don't really know how close or how far away you are from that. Round 3 then, yeah, let me just show you. Yep. Yep. I think I went east as well, which is just even more shit. It kind of, you can tell it was an island. It's always those islands that look like that. I just chose an island that was way too far off. Yep. Not good. I found nothing, of course. If I had the path logger, I could tell you how far it went exactly. Probably somewhere like over here, just before you get there. But even if you get there, there's still nothing good there. I assume the one person who did get it made it to here, and then found a sign for the 208, and just looked at the islands for the 208 somewhere. Or he got lucky. Maybe got a repeat, I don't know. Then we went on to round 4, which was in Tochigi Prefecture. Close to Sakura. What did I find? I've definitely found, I knew we were on the 4, on the Highway 4. 4 is very, very long. But I also knew, I know to the south we had Utsunomiya. I think to the north we had a sign for Nasushi-Obara. We definitely had one for Yaita, that's for sure. And eventually I just was like, okay, I found it. And then I knew we crossed the railway line again. But the railway line is a very long railway line. And the 4, again, is very long. And the interesting thing is I made it to here, to this intersection. And if you went like north or south here, the sign you get pointing you towards what's to the east, what's if you go that way, pointed you towards Nakagawa, which is all the way over here. So it's kind of like, is it there? But the railway line's here. It can't really. And the 4 is not anywhere near there either. So I just, in the end, I kind of guessed somewhere close to here and got a bit lucky in the end that I found this right intersection there. Because I wasn't confident at all. I eventually just ran out of time relatively close by. And then round 5, all the way up here near Morioka. and I traveled for a long, long time to get anywhere here. I didn't really find anything good, anything useful at all until like the last 10 seconds or so, where I found a sign towards Morioka, and eventually just put it there and was like, I don't have any time anymore. So that's that. Those were the other 4 seats. It's taken quite a while, but mostly also, I guess, because I had to introduce you to the, well, the table and all of the maps. So probably going to be a bit shorter in successive, that's not a good word for it, in further episodes. But for now, that's it. And now we're going to go into the map for my division, and I'm going to meet you there. Okay, am I ready? No. Will I be going anyway? Yeah. Okay, let's start. Reddit League Season 4, Round 1. Okay. Middle of nowhere. Not really my favorite location. I don't think this looks promising. Although, maybe. I mean, none of the roads really look promising, to be honest, so might as well take one of them. Although this looks particularly unpromising. Although there is a big bridge over there. I highly doubt we can get there. If we could, might be some information up there. It does look like the road's heading there. Just get me over there. I want to get onto this other road. Come on, just please. Ah, thank you. BIP 110-1. Not amazingly helpful yet. What does that say? Just BIP 1 again. Nothing I recognize. But on a road like this, I think we should be good. Relatively. Everything's just saying BIP 1. What have we got here? Beppu in 2 kilometers. I think Beppu is big. Is it something I can find? Down here somewhere? There's Beppu. Yeah. Beppu, I see. Bigger question is, it's in 2 kilometers and we're heading south, so you're going to be up there somewhere. It's exit 11. Is that actually numbered here? No, they're not numbered. That's unfortunate. Ah, yeah, it is on the 10 actually, so on this road. Or is it just that? I actually doubt it. There's Beppu 1. And is this the road that crossed? I think this might be the road that we were on. Let me go back to the start. This had quite a few crosses in the middle. This could be here, actually. It would lead me to think we're somewhere like here. Which is then going to make me hate myself because this major road was right there. God damn it. Yeah, we're in the right place. If I look west, there's this one house that doesn't show up on the map. Annoying. Do I have any other roads? There's no other roads going off here. There's just that one house eventually. We're kind of running out of time anyway. Let me look. There's one like slight curve. Pretty much right here. We're just past that. I think this should be fine. Yeah, 6 meters. Okay, that's a good start. Ready for round 2. Let's go. Okay. Does look more populated, and there's a sign immediately here. 239 is Hokkaido, I'm pretty sure, up there. East towards central Shibetsu. West towards Onebetsu means we're somewhere in between the two. Would now be useful if we knew what other road we've got here. That's just towards the 40 over there. That's okay. If we head west, is there anything significant about this? Is that a river? I can't tell really. It might just be like a dugout or something. If we head north, we get to anything significant. There's Nishi San Ichi. Oh, that's Nishi 3. But not really feeling confident about that one. It goes north-south here. And the 239 might be somewhere over there, roughly. When is that one? Nishi 4-5. It's so hard to tell for me. 39 and 40. They go east here. No, west, obviously. I think it's this one. That means we came from up here. I'm relatively confident. Walk south. There's a couple streets that we pass on the way to here. That's the big question. Immediately goes west a bit. Are we here or here? Go with that one. Still goes the same. This is sort of the extreme outlay. So we have 2 more roads. So we'd be here. And more specifically, yep, that house matches up. So we are actually exactly here. Are we exactly there? I don't know, but we're close enough. Okay, round 3. Let's go. Okay. Could be rough. Could very well be rough. This is apparently a detour. Either way. I'm gonna go back to the start and try this way. Looks slightly more promising to me, just based on a hunch. Let's see what we get to. Is that a better road? I mean, maybe if we go down here. The road doesn't look terrible. So maybe we'll get to some good signs eventually. Nope, 477. Obviously very unhelpful as long as I don't know the general region I'm in, but it's a start. Okay, that's a very interesting turn. There's the 473. Okay, I can use that. Where are I think the 473 is somewhere around, where would it be? We've got the 477, 6, 2 and 1. Where's the, there is 473. Then we're looking for the 477. Where could that be? Does the 473 continue anywhere? That's important to know. Yes, it does. It continues to over here. And then does it stop here? Having a hard time to tell. Oh, no, it doesn't. It continues to over here. There's the 477. Good. Very good. And we are here. That is, where's that particular part of the 337? That's this part, I think. We're above it here somewhere. Pretty confident. Let me actually judge it though. Okay, we sort of got a freeway intersection here. It could be that. No, it can't be that one. Of course not. It could be, it is that one, I think, though. Did we come from sort of the northeast? Does that make a turn? Makes a couple of turns and sort of goes in a northerly direction. I'm actually not too confident about that one, unfortunately. But at the same time, I don't see a better place. So let me get back to the start. I head over there. Get to here? No, it's a dead end. Here, maybe? It doesn't really fit. Oh, up there. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Which one was it? No, I went over here. Then I must have gone south here. Okay. Yeah, but not too bad. That's a tough round. Round 4. Okay. Interesting. To start. Through traffic, slow traffic. We're in Hokkaido based on these things above the street. It's just a question of figuring out where there's a good sign up ahead. On the wait, that's not Hokkaido, is it? On the 40. Where's there 40 in Hokkaido? There, never mind, it is. Horonobe Station. How long does the 40 continue though? I think that's a long road. Or is it not? No, never mind. Horonobe Station. Here, and the 121 is here. Okay. The 121 is to our west. Now, if this sign would tell me which road we came from the 121 too. That is certainly interesting. What's Toyotomi? Did we come from up here? I guess that would make sense. A long curve over to the east and then back. Kind of like this, but not quite. Here? Or were we further away from town? There's a road west here into a residential area, so we might actually be somewhere there. There's quite a few roads, though. Okay. You look... I don't know if that quite matches up. I mean, this intersection, I think, would. And I don't see any other possibility, to be quite frank. There's a long curve before it straightens out. We haven't reached sort of the maximum point yet. We would be somewhere here. Then we'd go north again, and then we'd go northeast. Yeah, it should be right. I think we might be a bit further into the curve, like here. Let's go with that. Yeah, all right, 4 meters, very good. And one more to go. Let's have at it. The 121. I don't know what that one specifically tells me, but the 244. Isn't that in, like, Okinawa? Just had a feeling, but apparently it's not, no. It kind of looks like an island-ish, but I don't think most of those islands have those numbers. So, actually, it could be Hokkaido again. Now that I think about it, 244 is typical Hokkaido number. There it is. Now the question is, where are we exactly? On the coast. Let's have a look. Surely we're going to find a distance marker somewhere or something like this sign here, which is going to hopefully tell us everything we need. Yep, it will, if it's unblurred. 929 towards Nakashunbetsu. This one, right here. Brilliant. Does it lead there? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Now the question is, this is a very long straight road. And eventually it goes a bit towards the west. It makes sense, but how far down are we on this straight road? Okay, if I go north, there's a pretty immediate turn over to the east. It could be this one, actually. We have this small bridge here. Where, I mean, I say bridge, this thing here, that's called a bridge. Very much could be this one. But, like, down here? Like, this is impossible to just count. There's no sense in that. I just gotta make sure that it's the right place generally. This is a bit annoying because there's no buildings that show up on the map. But we can still work with it, I think. Eventually curve slightly over to the west. Yeah, still it makes sense. I mean, at this point, time doesn't matter anymore. At this point, I think we're just gonna go for it. There's eventually a bit of a bigger one. This one. Do I just go for it? There's nothing in the ocean that helps me. Ugh, just have the feeling I might be slightly further away. Let me check. There's always some very slight curves in here. But you can't even see those on the map. Honestly, I think we're further down. Like here. I'm gonna hope and pray. We were further down. Okay, I was still 57 meters off, but I will happily take that. 24,977. Only second place so far, but yeah, whatever. Very, very good. That's the first time in my Reddit League history that I actually got above 24,900 points on a seed that I played in my own division. I've gotten it like 15 to 20 times or even more in other seeds, in other divisions, but not on my own. That's the first time I've actually did it. Let me just go back. What was round 3 rounds in Hokkaido? What was round 3 where I messed up a bit? Oh, yeah, don't. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to say I don't blame myself. But yeah, Xander, exact same region. Yeah, it was definitely the most difficult round. I wonder, like, probably if you go up here and up there, you get to the 420 very quickly and maybe have a bit more time. Maybe that's what he did. But either way, let me look at the rounds. This one, yeah, if you go the wrong way here, you might struggle a bit. But I think I already kind of went the wrong way, in a sense, and still found my way there in the end. Maybe you struggle a bit if you don't know where Beppu is. Because these highways can be tricky in Japan, because it's quite rare actually to find very useful signs on them. Because most of the time, apparently, the Japanese just assume which highway you're on, if it's one of the major expressways. And therefore, it can be a bit tricky. Like, usually, the funny thing is you'd rather be on something like the 500 than on the E10, just because you find better information. But if you know where Beppu is, as I thankfully did, sort of, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Round 2 near Shibetsu, yeah, that should be relatively easy. Just go. I mean, if you go the wrong way again, if you go east and then go north and just make your way up here, could still be a struggle. But I think you're always close enough to the main highway through here that you shouldn't struggle too much. Then I already talked about round 3. Round 4, up there in Horonobe. Again, maybe if you travel north, might struggle a bit. Traveling south should always get you to where you need to be. And yeah, with the exception of Laban Grab, that was probably the easiest round for all. Well, except for round 5 and round 2. Actually, it wasn't the most difficult seed, let's be honest. And then we've got this one right here, where people struggled pinpointing that one. Actually, only he went further south. Everyone else was further north, closer to the safe haven of the bridge. But yeah, things like that are very tough to pinpoint. When you know, basically, we've got 2 reference points, and you're incredibly close to one of them in comparison to the other. So we're super close to here, but we're incredibly far away from anything that you could reference down here. but we're also not that close to it. So it's kind of a very tough decision to where exactly you're going to place your pin. But anyway, yeah. I mean, that's a completely new feeling for me. I've at least secured a draw. I've never had that before. Um, so yeah, I'm very happy with round one of Reddit League. So either way, no matter what happens, I won't leave week one without a point, and that's brilliant. So I can only say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.